Hey, so you've heard me mention before that I was in the United States Marine Corps and I served just about 9 years in the Marine Corps. And I worked in armories mostly. My job was a small arms repairman, weapons technician, and a shooting instructor. So I was either on the range or I was in an armory. And what I understood the most about the military and something they just had extremely well done was that they believed in what we call SOPs, standard operating procedures. Now, I know that a lot of warehouses and places like that, factories and locations like that, they carry a strong SOP. You'll find it on the wall anywhere. Same thing in the military. I can walk into the armory. I can walk into a section of the armory. I can pull the SOP right off the wall, right off the stand. I could read it and I would know how to run and operate this armory. And so what I realized is that a lot of small business owners don't have an operating procedure. They do not have a standard operating procedure, an SOP in place. And so I wanted to take some time to really discuss that in this chapter to help you understand what it eventually will mean to scale, right? And so let's tap into this real quick. So the standard operating procedures is what we'll be talking about. And so I started this with the history of humanity because if you think about the history of humanity, you've probably heard people say this. Life is cyclical, right? Things that happen in the world are cyclical. If you're in real estate, you've heard the market is cyclical. It goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. So humanity is very much the same. We repeat our mistakes, we repeat our successes, but in very different ways, right? So like the invention of the wheel revolutionized movement and travel as much as the invention of the iPhone revolutionized the way we compute, the way we understand, the way we communicate. So with that in mind, those two pieces were revolutionary items that invented something that was, but in very different timelines with very different technology and very different situations. But humanity often repeats its mistakes as well. And so what we are trying to do here is create a standard operating procedure that would help you or your business create something that is systemized in all parts of your business, right? So how's your marketing systemized? How is your lead generation systemized? How is your conversion systemized? What happens when you get a new lead? Who in your team operates what? Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of that? All of those things can be systemized in your business. And the idea is to really understand them at a high level and write these things down. Okay. As you write these things down, what you end up doing is creating a system that can be passed on to a future CEO. Imagine that, right? Imagine you building a business that one day you can either A, sell, or B, step back from, put somebody else in charge and really determine the future of your business. So we always start everything with our why. It's a really big piece, okay? Because it really helps you understand what you're going to do in the future and how you're going to put these pieces in place, right? And so when we start with our why, we know why we're even in the business. Now, I started my why in the book. I talk about the story how I came to my why. So my why is freedom. It is why the name of our organization is a freedom organization, and it is a coaching consulting company, right? Why do we name our company Freedom? Well, because we believe that everyone down to the core is attempting to create some sort of freedom for themselves by being an entrepreneur, whether it be financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom, whatever it means to you. And so that being said, my why is freedom. You have your why. One of my recent clients, we're sitting down, we're working on his why. And he said to me, he goes, my why is to inspire. And I said, well, who and why? And he gave me the breakdown and I couldn't really dig into that anymore. I was like, man, this is excellent. You know why you're getting up every day. And it is to inspire A, B, C, and D. And these are the reasons why. When you know that, you can create a plan around that. You can create a standard operating procedure based on what you're trying to achieve. So I asked the question, how much would your life change if you were the best version of yourself, right? So the reason I choose freedom, freedom is fought for, freedom is died for. The quest for it pushes me, corrects me, punishes me, rewards me, enlightens me, and continuously fills me with the desire to not live an average life. I'm going to read this again for you guys, or you can read it on your own. No, I'm going to read it again because this excites me. Because when you know your why, it does all these things for you. For me, freedom is fought for, it's died for. It pushes me, it corrects me, it punishes me, rewards me, enlightens me, and continually fills me with the desire to not live an average life. I want to live an amazing, great life, and I assume that many of you do too. If you didn't, if you just wanted to be average, chances are you would not be spending the time listening to me blab on about how to be more successful, and you would not be reading this book. It would mean nothing to you because you would just go on with your life. So let's focus on something. Once you know your why, let's create the 5-3-1 exercise. Now, a lot of coaches out there call it the 1-3-5. I call it the 5-3-1. I like to do things in specific order. Now, the reason they call it 1-3-5 is they want you to focus on year 1, then year 3, then year 5, which direction you're going. I believe in the 5-3-1. I believe in thinking really big, taking the opportunity to just get out of your space, get out of your mind, scare the shit out of people when you tell them the things that you want to achieve. Go big. Is it a private jet? Are you going to become a pilot, get a 4-jumper? Like, what is it for you? Are you going to get a yacht? Are you going to get a boat? Are you going to pay off your house? Are you going to buy 5 houses? Are you always going to have a mortgage because you're going to be consistently investing? Will you have a portfolio of 100 properties? What is your big? And make that 5, and then plan out year 5. What does year 5 look like for you? Once you know what year 5 looks like for you, right? Where are you 5 years from today? Go crazy, think big. Then you can back it up and dumb it down to year 3. Now, I hate using the word dumb it down, but simplify it. Maybe the right word is to simplify it down to year 3. If you want to be here at year 5, well, what does here look like? And then we bring it down to even year 1. What does year 1 look like? Now, year 1 is going to be incredible because this is going to be the stepping stone that launches you for the next one. But look, let's spend a little bit of time together talking about the plan, okay? I'm going to switch my screen here because I want you to focus on me, and I'm going to grab my board because we're going to talk about why year 1 and why the plan is so critical, okay? So now, let's have a chat real quick, all right? So this is year 1. Here, let's move this. Let's get to page 2. So year 1 is what we're going to focus on creating a step-by-step plan for. Because you see, you've already created the plan. You already know where you want to be year 5. You already know where you need to be in year 3 in order to achieve year 5. And you know what year 1 needs to look like for you. So you're going to have marketing. You're going to have sales, financial. Financial is going to be in and out, and many other things that you're going to be talking about in this whole thing. Now, when we talk about marketing, the question is, what do you want to achieve through marketing this year, and how will you market it? Once you know that, you're going to know what are you trying to achieve in sales and how will you create those sales. And then your finances, you're going to know how much you need in and how much you're willing to put out to invest into your business, like in marketing, etc. Right? And so once you have this down packed, let's go to page 3 and play with this. Once you have this down packed, you can break it down step by step. So if we do marketing, and we know some of the things we're going to do in marketing is we're going to create an affiliate system. Maybe we're going to make some cold calls. Or maybe we're going to put a few people on calls. Maybe we're going to door knock. Maybe we're going to hit the neighborhoods, right? Maybe we're going to create postcards. We're going to do social media. We're going to do ads on social media. We're going to do ads on Google, right? We're going to do, just name it. What are you going to do in marketing? Now you can break this down, each and every one of them. What does social media mean to me? How often am I going to do it? Is it a daily thing? Is it every other day? Am I posting 3 times a day? Am I posting 4 times a day? What does it look like? I'm going to do ads on social media. What will those ads look like? Will they go to landing pages, right? Am I going to do events this year? What will those events be, and how will I plan for those events through marketing, through sales, and through everything else? What am I trying to achieve from the events, right? By the way, I don't care when you're watching this. You don't need to be in January to achieve this. What you need to be is in day one when you begin this. This is like creating business planning. This is your plan. But here's the thing. You're planning out for the next 12 months. So if it's June, please don't be an idiot and sit around and wait till January 1 to implement the plan. If it's June 15th, this begins June 16th for you, right? And so let's go hard on, cold calling. How often will we cold call? How often will we speak with our affiliates, and how will we promote an affiliate program? How often will we door knock, and what will we be giving at the door knocks, right? Postcards, right? How often we'll be sending out postcards or flyers or whatever it is to the entire neighborhood. Am I running ads on Google? What's my budget? What am I trying to achieve, and how can I track it? This is piece by piece by piece by piece planning, right? What piece by piece by piece planning allows you to do is systemize the process. And then you can write it down. You can even plug it into your calendar, right? So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What happens on Monday at what time? Tuesday at what time? Wednesday at what time? Thursday at what time? Friday at what time? Saturday, Sunday at what time? What happens on those days to lead to the achievements that we created here at Page 3 with affiliates and cold calls and door knocking and postcards and Google ads and social media ads and regular posts and event programs and so forth and so on. And how do I plug that into my day? And then how do I track it? What system am I using to track it, right? So systems could be technology. Systems are the system, the thing that we do to help us succeed, right? The idea is that if this is all documented, right? I spelled that right. If this is all documented, right, then you are creating an SOP that you can pass on to the next person who's going to operate that system. That is something that many entrepreneurs and many small business owners are not tracking or not doing and are not really killing it at. So this is a big piece for you guys, right? This is a big piece for you to get super focused. Now, that being said, now you need to create that plan. It could take time. It could take time for you to create this plan. And that's okay, because listen, this is not easy to put together, but it is absolutely 100% mandatory for you to put together. So you need to be able to get focused on this at a super high level, okay? And you need to be able to put this plan together. Now, this is from the book. The road to 1,000 miles begins with one step. By doing these two invasive, personal, yet simple exercises, you'll be on the road to getting to where you want to be. The side effect is immediate, though. Being that you're aligned with what your future looks like and what you're making the necessary moves to get there, your quality of life will improve immediately. You'll find joy in the process because you know it's bringing you somewhere, instead of being frustrated thinking, I'll never live the life I want. Your self-esteem will grow knowing that you are now doing exactly what needs to be done to get the life you want. That's it. Super simple. All you have to do is want it. Listen, we dig into this at a very high level because I'm a true believer. I'm a big believer that if you do these things, and you plug them in and you systemize it, it's a part of your calendar and you make it happen every single day. If you stay consistent, remember the hero code, we talked about perseverance, consistency. That's it. That's all, right? So if you can stay massively consistent with the plan that you've put in place, it allows you to be able to look back at it and track it, understand it. Where's my return on investment? Where's my return on time? And then being able to do that, you know where to take away from, you know what to add to, and you know how to adjust the plan moving forward. And you will be completely beside yourself when you realize how much effort, strength, ability, control you will have for your business and how much you will find joy, excitement, and happiness in it. And how much ROI it brings back to the table, right? Because everybody, look, we're in this to make some money. So let's go out there. Let's make some money.